So I don't get a chance to talk to trustees very much, so I actually have some little bit longer remarks, but I'm going to go through them fast because we have this fabulous panel waiting to talk with you. The American Library Association for several years has had a slogan, "Libraries Change Lives." And that slogan never gets old for me because I know, and your librarians know, and I hope you trustees and friends know, that your library changes lives. This happens on a daily basis. Your staff know it, your volunteers know it, and there's a great story there, and it's the library story. And that story is often hidden. The folks in your community and the folks that hold the purse strings and the policymakers and the town officials in your communities at the state level need to hear that story. I'm sure that you hear what I hear when I talk to policymakers, legislators, people in state government. Oh, libraries, right. Oh, I love our library. It's great, it's so cute. And those books, those are just great. That's not the story that has power. That's not the story that's compelling, that really reflects what's going on day in and day out in your library. Our brand may still be the book, and I love books, but it's our job, and it's your job, to help get the word out to the world of what's happening in our libraries. And I think that this theme today is just perfect for this. So try something new. And I don't see that as an invitation. Oh, try something new. I see it as imperative. We must be trying new things all the time because the world is changing, our communities are changing, the needs of our citizens are changing, and our partners are looking to libraries to do new and different things. So, the buzz in libraries today, STEM, makerspaces, learning labs, digital creation, financial literacy, community video conferencing, high-speed broadband, those are the kinds of things that are on my plate that I hear the buzz. And we're doing that in Vermont. Vermont is really, and you're going to be hearing some of this stuff today, so you'll know that we're there. And we want you all to be on board with this great shift that libraries are going through from the print era to the digital era and becoming true learning centers in our communities. Every year, the American Library Association puts out a report called the State of American Libraries. And the 2015 report has a list of trends and issues, and I just want to pull out 3 of them. And I think that they'll relate to things that you're going to be hearing throughout the day. One of them is early literacy. Research shows that in the first 3 years of life, children from low-income families hear about 30 million fewer total words than their affluent counterparts. And I'm going to suggest that those affluent counterparts are often the kids that get to a library. This, they call the word gap, can lead to differences in school readiness and long-term educational and social success. I think libraries must be part of the solution, and that means for our public libraries that we have to get beyond the walls of our libraries into those child care centers and where some of those children that don't normally use a library are. So that's number 1, early literacy. Number 2 is one that really excites me. It's connected learning. Connected learning is an educational method designed to make learning relevant by focusing on the interests of the learner and connecting those interests with educational opportunities beyond the formal classroom. So we talk, and we have talked for years, about libraries being centers of lifelong learning. How exciting is that? In the American Libraries Report, they were really looking to teens and connecting teens with their interests and some kind of mentor, maybe a mentor in the library or in the community. I think that's really great, And I think it's a powerful thing for our teenagers who are looking ahead to being in the 21st century workforce. But I'm going to suggest that in Vermont, a big audience for this are our older adults. We're the second oldest state in the country. So we have lots of people that are in their retirement years, and now they've got that time, and I can't wait, they've got that time to pursue personal passions. So why not have the public libraries being the place where they can go in and they can focus on those personal passions and have mentorship or support from the local library in doing that. Number 3, digital literacy. Research shows that families are increasing their access to digital media, but they lack the knowledge of how to effectively use that digital media for learning. At the state level, we recognize that here in Vermont, digital literacy, and by that I mean learning how to use computer technology, digital resources, everything from a smartphone to a mouse. Digital literacy in this state is a critical need. We recognize that at the state level, for citizens, online learning, for folks that need good jobs or career advancement, for people that are doing entrepreneurship, starting new businesses, people that just need to connect with families and friends, get good information. This has become a core service of public libraries across the country, and it's a challenge for our Vermont libraries because you lack staff, you lack space, and you lack technology. Many of you lack broadband. So we know that that's a huge need at the state. It's a challenge, and somehow together we need to see if there's a way that we can work together to try to help citizens get that kind of training. So the Department of Libraries, I hear from people and they go, the Department of what? And I suspect that there are people in this room that really have no idea what the Department of Libraries does to help you in these areas. So let me just talk about a few core services of our department, and then I'm going to ask you to help us. We help build a well-trained library workforce through our consulting, professional development, and certification programs. In 2016, look to us and watch for more virtual training and some development on our website where there'll be tools and resources for you to go to and use to help both librarians, library staff, friends, and trustees. We support resource sharing and interlibrary loan. Those of you that use the Vermont Automated Library System, VALS, know that that's an aged, clunky system. So in 2016, we have big plans to replace that system with new technology that will allow citizens to have access, easy access to a statewide shared union catalog of library holdings. Also in 2016, we'll be working with the Green Mountain Library Consortium to launch a pilot courier system for the delivery of interlibrary loan between libraries. It will begin in January. We're looking for 100 libraries to participate in that. I hope that all of your libraries will consider joining in on that pilot project. We provide digital resources via the Vermont Online Library, which are available to citizens just with a public library card. We foster early literacy and introduce STEM to our youngest learners, and I'm happy to report that we recently received a federal grant of $340,000 to extend our Vermont Early Literacy Initiative, introducing physical science and science discovery centers in 25 of our libraries. That will be a national model, and we will in turn train state library agency staff in 22 other states. So it's great to see Vermont libraries on the cutting edge as a model for the country. So that's what we're doing. So now I'm going to ask a favor of you. We need your help. As you know, Vermont doesn't have state funding to libraries, to public libraries. The state funding goes to us, and in turn we provide statewide services to help you and to support the work that you do, and to provide resources for citizens. You also know that the state is in financial difficulty. And you may know that this fiscal year, our department took a huge financial cut. We lost 4 of our 26 positions this summer, and we will lose 3 more by next spring. That means that by next spring, we'll be operating with a staff of just 19 people. When I came into this job 8 years ago, we had 33 people. So we're getting smaller and we're getting squeezed, and our major challenge now is the potential loss of our federal funding, which requires matching money at the state level. So advocacy is something that I'm going to be calling on the Library Association and all of you to help us with. We need your voices with local legislators. We need you to talk to them about what the Department of Libraries does, why we're important, what would happen if we disappeared. I'd love to see some people out there asking our candidates for governor, what do they plan to do for libraries when they're governor? Get libraries on the wavelength. It's very rare that we hear politicians, policymakers talk about libraries, and that's in direct conflict with what I hear from partners. When I talk to statewide organizations, they talk libraries all the time. They want to work with libraries. So somehow we need to translate that to our policymakers. That's my message. So glad to see you today. I think it's going to be a very good day. Great programs. Thank you for indulging me, panelists. And enjoy the day, and I hope I'll see you. And one other thing, I forgot to introduce, Maxie Ewens is here today. Maxie, stand up. Maxie's a former director of the Fletcher Free Library, and she is a member of the State Board of Libraries. So she's representing the State Board today. So glad to have you here. So look us up. We'll be here all day. Look forward to talking with you. Thanks.